Welcome to the Stay Scared Podcast. This show is to explain and educate ourselves on what some would say is impossible to explain, deep diving into the unknown and the eeriness of the paranormal. But it doesn't only stop there. Me and my co hosts will share some unsettling stories, research and explain unknown chilling theories, and try to get a grasp of these creepy things like life after death, extraterrestrial, ghosts, demons, murders, and much more. Take a trip with us through a journey of life secrets, so make sure to leave a closed mind at the door. It's time not only to feel the unsettling rush of the unknown, but also we want you to stay scared. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Gil here with the Stay Scared Podcast. I'm going to go ahead and just get straight into it. This is not professional by any stretch of the imagination. It's just me getting on the mic talking about what I think about and how I feel. So, what I strive to do with this podcast is try to get an understanding of the afterlife, paranormal, creepy things, just things that we can't explain, the unexplained. What I'm going to go ahead and do first is tell you a little bit about myself. In the future, I have my brother with me. He's going to be my co-host, but as of now, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you about myself so you guys can kind of see where I'm coming from and maybe relate in any type of way. So I'm going to go ahead and start off by this. I told myself 3 questions. I wanted to go ahead and give myself a reference, like a rough draft or whatever, but I'm just going to hop right into it. So my first question was, who am I and what I strive to do with this podcast? I want to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about myself. So I'm 27 years old. A lot of interest in the paranormal, a lot. It's kind of crazy. And not just paranormal, but just the afterlife in general. Lately, my time being here on Earth, lately I've been really interested in it for some odd reason. A lot of people don't understand or kind of get why you would be, because it's not really a good thing to think about things like that, like death and afterlife stuff, and just things that are eerie and things that are kind of scary to some. They don't want to think about that. They want to be happy-go-lucky and think about the next good thing that's going to happen in their life. But as of now, I just, I'm different. I know there's a lot of people like me out there, so I just want to go ahead and put myself in a category where people come and hang out, listen. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get on about myself. So like I said, I'm 27 years old. I live in Los Angeles, California. Yeah, here on the West Coast, there's a big horror, what should I say, like interest. I guess there's a big horror interest because Hollywood and all that stuff. I'm a big scary movie fan also. Horror films are probably one of my favorite category of films that's ever been created. I like things like more than 90s, I'd say. Nowadays, I don't know how to make good scary movies, but other than that, I mean, man, I got so much love for just the horror category in general. It could be video games, it could be stories like YouTube, for example. Mr. Nightmare. You have different things like that. Just different types of creators making different types of stories and stuff. Not only on YouTube, but on podcasts where I'll go ahead and listen to different things like what happens in the afterlife, Freaky Tales. There's another one right there. It's just a podcast speaking on what I like and what I'm interested in. So, like I said, here in the West Coast, we kind of have a big following for that in the horror genre because of Hollywood. But it's not just that, though. A lot of people don't understand that we live in an area where there's a lot of different categories that don't really pertain to just Hollywood, the fake movie scenes, right? As everybody knows, there's a lot of violence here in California, Southern California at that. I don't know anything about the northern part, but as of me living here, there's a lot of violence, a lot of murders, a lot of different things that happen in real life, like from the likes of Richard Ramirez, from the likes of gang violence, of killings, and just simple murders, of crazy things that happen. Not too long ago, we had a big shooting, I believe, in Monterey Park. 10 people died. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy that how life is just taking off this world for no apparent reason. And those type of just sadness are like, it's like stuck in a bubble in this city, and it's kind of crazy. But what can we do? We live in this area as of now, but Yeah, I just want to go ahead and know more about this stuff and indulge a little bit more into it, because there's studies, of course, there's ghost hunters, there's different things, but I want to go ahead and see from my point of view. I'm going to go ahead and get into my second thing, and my second question I wanted to ask myself, and that was, what's my first encounter with the paranormal? So before I get into that, I'd like to explain that me and my family are really, I wouldn't say intuitive, but we really have been interested in that since basically birth. And the reason I say that is because my mother's side of the family is very religious, Christians. They do have a side of them where, it's kind of intuitive, more of a spiritual essence about them. And ever since I was a small kid, our mother, she was really into the paranormal. And at the time, I didn't understand it, it seemed scary as a kid. I'm going to take you back to when I was about, I'll say 4 or 5 years old, right? Okay, so my first encounter with that paranormal was this. We moved into this back house in Bellflower, California. We moved into this back house, and it was really eerie as a kid, just staying in the house. So I didn't really understand or even think about the feeling of it at the time, because I was just young. I was a kid just going along with my days, I guess you could say. Just that house in general it just had an eerie feeling, and it was just a different feeling. And that's what I could remember as being a kid. It's weird to say, and people will probably think, what do you mean, man? Like, you were small, you were like 4 years old, how do you remember those feelings? But hey, they stuck with me to this day, and I still remember them. So I mean, what can I say? As of that, my first encounter with something was, I'll tell you this short story. Well, I remember watching cartoons one day, and my mother was making she was making me something to eat, right? And oh, I remember it now. So it was a cup of noodle. It's basically noodles in a thing where you could put it in the microwave or you could put it in a pan. Well, my mom was lazy at the time, so she just put water in the damn cup of noodle, put it in the microwave. So she told me, wait about 5 minutes till it cools down. Okay, so she left it on the counter right there for in reaching distance, you know. At the time, she was busy or whatever, so she just wanted me to go ahead and wait for it at that point. So as a kid, me not knowing, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm hungry as hell. I grab the cup of soup. It's filled to the top with boiling hot water. I grab it, pull it towards me. Bam, the water falls on my chest, burns the shit out of my chest. I don't even know what kind of degree burn it was, but my mom, I should have listened at the time, but I'm just a little kid. Anyways, she gets hysterical. Man, oh my God, can't believe this. You should have never grabbed it, this and that. Like she does her best to make me feel better. I'm screaming, crying at the time. It hurts, of course. And what she does, I can't remember what she does for it, but I remember back then she put some type of medicine on it, and then she got a cold rag and lay me down. So I was laying there on the bed. We had our own room, mind you. Short story about that is me and my 2 sisters. I had 2 older sisters, and we shared one room, and my dad and my mom had their own room. So again, this is a back house, of my childhood at the time. As a me getting burned, she lays me on my bed. I'm watching cartoons. I still remember to this day what kind of cartoon it was. It was Looney Tunes, because I remember Sylvester and Tweety. So I was watching those cartoons, and I had the cold rag on me, getting my mind off of it, and then all of a sudden I hear something in like the room with me, but towards more of the closet, right? I said, what happened? And I looked around. I was like I didn't even say who was there. It was kind of weird, because it's like I knew something was there the whole time, but I just thought it was normal. I just thought it was normal to have something out there speaking to me like that. And they asked, oh, what happened? And I was like, I remember as a kid, I was like, I burned myself, and as I lay there, kept on asking questions like, are you okay? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm okay now, but it hurts. They asked, where's your mom? I'm like, oh, my mom's in the kitchen, or my mom's in the living room, one of those. I was just talking back to this thing. He actually we actually had a fucking weird conversation. As I remember, I don't remember too much about the conversation, but I remember he called himself Mr. Something. He's like, oh yeah, my name is Mr. Something, like he introduced himself to me. Finally, out of all the time, because like I said, growing up in that back house was really eerie. You know, it was really eerie. And Mister whatever his name was having a conversation with the young 4-year-old kid laying down in the bed after getting injured. So it was just weird. So that was my first encounter with the paranormal. Well, now as I think now, it was crazy at that to think that I was having a conversation with the dead or with something that wasn't even there. You get what I'm saying? So as time went by, the house got a little more eerie and eerie. You know, I never really talked to him too much after that. And the crazy part about it though is I kind of just figured like that's how life was. Like there was things that you couldn't see that you could talk to, but they were there and you could feel they're there, but they weren't in your face as of a human being form, you know? So yeah, so it was just kind of weird. I was like, man, like, you know, growing up in the house was different. Just the feelings of eeriness, toys would go off itself, like toys with batteries in it, but like I would never touch these toys. They'd be my sister's, you know, princess toys and shit. They'll just start going off and like somebody's playing with them, right? And it was just crazy weird. And I remember there was some times where we would hear big knocking on, like it would be in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe even 3. You would hear somebody running on the roof. So my dad would grab his gun. Run outside, you know, look on the roof, and there's nobody there. You know, there's nobody there running around the roof. So if it was loud enough to wake up my dad and have him go react to that situation, then damn, I don't know what the fuck, you know. There's things like that, and it was just crazy. It was just crazy at the time. That was my first interaction with the paranormal, and as I got older, gradually it started growing. But I'll have more stories like that in the future. But yeah, so that would be my second segment right there, right? I told you that I'm going to be asking myself 3 questions. Go into my next question, and that's my next segment, which is, do I believe in heaven and hell? So again, like I said, my mother's side of the family was really religious in that sense, Christian. You know, Christianity was type priority in their lives, you know. And growing up as a kid, that's more the religious side that I grew up onto. So, you know, I was never really that church boy. You know, we rarely went to church at times. Yeah, it was just really a different type of lifestyle growing up, because we did believe in God, we did believe in Jesus. You know, it was a lot of people don't grow up with that type of, you know, background, but we did. We're taught about angels, we're taught about demons, we're taught about, you know, heaven, we're taught about hell. You know, I got my first Bible when I was like 5. You know, I never read it really. I just really got it because we would go to church here in, I believe it was Downey, California, which is Calvary. A lot of people in this area would know that church. But my question was, do I believe in heaven and hell? And as of now, as a 27-year-old man, I would say yes, I do. I believe in heaven, and I believe there's a hell. And where am I going when I do pass? Hopefully it's to heaven. You know what I mean? I think that I've done my best to be a good person as an adult, and hopefully, you know, God sees that, and when it's my time for judgment, which I do have those beliefs still, I could go up to God and explain myself and explain my bad ways, explain my good ways, and see where it goes from there, you know. But of course I would love to go to heaven, but you know, there's always that chance, you know, that, you know, we're not perfect on this earth, so you can go to hell, you know. A lot of people don't like to believe that type of shit because they want to believe that they're a good person, so after they're gone, you know, you're nothing merely but an illusion of dust. You know, you're gonna go somewhere, you cease to exist, right? And I don't believe that for sure. I don't believe that. I believe that we do have a purpose on this earth, and I believe that we do go somewhere when we pass on. You know, there is an afterlife, in my opinion. And in the future, I'll get more into that, but I would like to know what you guys think. You know, I'm going to go ahead and put this on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and put this on, you know, Apple Podcasts, all the podcasts out there, you know, systems out there. I'm going to go ahead and put this all in there, but I just wanted to go ahead and start off and let you know a little bit about myself and what my beliefs are. So at this point, I have no more questions to ask myself, but I'm going to go ahead and keep going. What do I think heaven is? I think heaven is a place you go if you're righteous in your human form on life. And a lot of people don't how should I say, believe in heaven or hell, and that's not for me to judge. I'm not that type of person. I would say this: I do have Christian beliefs and I do have Christian values, but it's not for me to judge on other people, because at the end of the day, there's only one being that's gonna judge us, and that's God. With this podcast, I want people to know that no matter what religion you are, or no matter what you believe in, you're always welcomed. You could believe in just being spiritual. You could believe in Buddhism. You could believe in Judaism. You could believe in being Muslim. You could believe in whatever you like. The Bible, the Quran. Doesn't matter what you believe in. Just know that you're welcome here. And we all have these questions, no matter what. We all have these questions, whether we're Hispanic, white, black, Asian, whatever. To me, color has no barrier around here. Doesn't matter what type of person you are, what type of interest you have. That doesn't matter to me. I just want people to find a place where they could come and they could feel welcome and interested in the type of shit that I like to talk about, and the type of stuff that I want to go ahead and study. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I want to have a lot of things with this podcast in the future, but as of now, this is just an introductory podcast. This is episode 1. I know people are going to be like, man, he's rambling on too much, but again, it's not professional. This is what I just figured I want to put my time and effort into, and if it grows into something, it grows. But me in the future, me and my brother will go ahead and make more of these. We'll go ahead and add more great stories, great things to talk about. Like I said, afterlife and paranormal is like up there on my. If I can make a job out of this, I would, trust me. But yeah, as of now, I mean, all I could do is say, hey, come and join me on this journey that we have, and hopefully you guys could start to understand more things I am too. So again, thank you for listening. If you guys want to follow me, you can go ahead and follow me on my social medias. It's Stay Scared on Instagram, Stay Scared on Twitter. I believe Stay Scared on YouTube. So I'm going to be hitting this YouTube up, and we'll see where this goes from here, So thank you for listening, and I'm out. Peace.